Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Harbenite Tarzan versus the Mahar from Tarzan the Epic Adventures. This is a toy line put out by Trendmasters in the 1990s, and I've done a series of reviews on these, and the packaging is very standard for the line, but it is quite nice. I love it. It showcases the figure. It has really nice design to it. And on the back, you get this wonderful cross cell showing you all the different figures in the line. And this is worth 2 Tarzan points. Let me know in the comments below what you think Tarzan points should have been redeemable for. They never got around to making them redeemable for anything back in the day. But I don't know, maybe they should have been worth a Wazari Warrior or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to open this up. This is, very standard packaging to what's been in the other reviews. So I'm just going to open this up off camera. And it is old school 90s packaging, not collector friendly. So I'm going to have to rip this sucker open. Be right back, guys. I sort of have the packaging still intact. If I wanted to, I could slip them back in there after opening it. If you're going to remove the blister bubble, just keep in mind that this is what it's going to look like. You do unfortunately lose at the Earth's core, which is unfortunate when you're opening it. So it's old school packaging. So the set does come with this nice shiny Tarzan badge, and it is a badge that you can clip on to your shirt or something else if you feel like, or you can just prop it up and display it. It makes a nice display piece. I don't know why it's blue. Obviously, I have gotten tons and tons of the gold jungle Tarzan badges and the red ones that came with the Barsoom toys. Perhaps blue is the only color they had left. If blue is for some reason associated with Pellucidar in the novels, let me know. But my thought is maybe it's just, kind of the color they had left. So here are Tarzan and the Mahar outside of their packaging. Tarzan, let's start with him. I like the metallic, it's kind of a shine. It's enough to let you know it's metal that he's wearing. I'll talk about, the context of the novels with these figures after we take a look at the figures. But I think the sculpt, just looking at the figure itself, the sculpt is nice. The paint job is nice. I just really like it. It's a very dynamic looking figure. And as far as the Mahar goes, or Mahar, I'm sorry, I'm probably just mispronouncing this fictional creature's name all over the place. But however you like to pronounce it, it is a nice looking monster. I mean, there's just a lot of detail. You can see like the detailing on the wings, in the face, which is just really mean looking, really scary and horrific. The detailing goes all the way around to the back. Look at the spine and the tail of this creature, down to the feet. Nice coloring on its belly. It just looks really, really cool and really, really scary and menacing looking. So Tarzan comes with 2 weapons. One is this sword with, I think this is supposed to be gun in the hilt. That's my assumption that it's some kind of gun sword, which is kind of a cool idea. I don't think this is in the novels, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong. This is, an Earth's core Tarzan from, with adventures in Pellucidar. So, if that's in the novels, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, the gun sword, it fits rather well in his hand, and it looks really nice. I like it. It's got that same kind of shine that the armor does. And this is his hunting knife, his second weapon that he comes with, and it fits in his hand quite nicely. And so now we have a hunting knife and a sword for Tarzan. The arms turn. That you can move the arms up and down, and you can rotate his head, and that is the only articulation this figure has. It just has 3 points of articulation, but that's standard for the human figures on this scale. So the Mahar has no problem standing on those big old monster feet. Tarzan, it takes a bit more effort to find just the right balance for him, but he can stand on his own. It just takes a little bit of effort to find that perfect position to put him in. So Tarzan is wearing Harbenite armor. So what is Harbenite? It's an ultralight alloy that is super strong. It was discovered in the novels by a character named Eric von Harben, hence the name Harbenite. And the novels, it is used to create an airship that sails to Pellucidar. To my knowledge, it wasn't used for armors. The premise here, I believe, is that, on some return trip to Pellucidar, someone makes him an armor made of Harbenite, which is plausible, but obviously not in the novels. If the name Harben sounds familiar, that's because it's been used a couple times throughout the Burroughs universe. Eric von Harben's sister, Gretchen von Harben, is actually a character in Tarzan and the Tarzan twins featuring Jaw, the golden lion. She actually almost ends up becoming the priestess for the Beastmen of Opar. And those panels come from Gretchen von Harben's first comic appearance in Tarzan 196 by Gold Key Comics, which was from October of 1970. And Gretchen von Harben is actually the protagonist of the current comic series Pellucidar Across Savage Seas by American Mythology. Gretchen Harben's daughter, Victory Harben, is a new character who's currently appearing in the novels produced by Burroughs Incorporated and is the protagonist in the new comic miniseries Beyond the Farthest Star by American Mythology. As far as the Mahar are concerned, the back of the packaging does have a pretty novel accurate description for them. It says, slimy and lizard-like, the Mahar is a hideous mind-control creature from the depths of the Earth's core. As the dominant life within Pellucidar, these horrible beings use their mental powers to enslave others to do their bidding. And so while that's a pretty good description of a Mahar, this is not what a Mahar from the novel looks like at all. In the novels, Mahars are evolved pterodactyls, which sounds bizarre, but it really, really works. In the 1976 At the Earth's Core movie, they tried to create that for the big screen using the technology of the time. The Tarzan the Epic Adventures TV series also tried to create Mahars, but these seem to have been based on the toy that I'm reviewing, and they would change from the pilot to the ongoing series when they would reappear in a episode called Tarzan and the Mahars. So I can only speculate as to why the Mahar looks so different here than he does in the novels or the comics. Maybe it was easier to shoot on TV, maybe it was easier to make a figure of, maybe both. But this really doesn't belong in, the novels, because, what Burroughs would tend to do with his creatures on Earth would be that they would be offshoots of evolution. So it kind of made sense for the Mahar to be evolved pterodactyls, right? Here, this is just so far removed from any creature that I can think of on Earth. This would be more appropriate for, say, Mars or something like that, or one of his alien planets. And so here he is fighting John Carter, and yeah, I think that works pretty well. I think he is kind of plausible as a creature from Barsoom. And while you're at it, I think you could repurpose the Tarzan figure as a Martian warrior. I think the Tarzan figures with the armors, while they're not in the novels, do make really cool looking Martian warriors, because Martian warriors wear capes and harnesses like you see here and carry around swords. So I think they make perfect Martian warriors if you want to repurpose them that way. As I've said in previous videos, the scale would be closest to the old Superpowers or Secret Wars line of superhero figures. They come up a little shorter because they're squatted down, but if these characters were actually standing straight up, they would be roughly that height. So unfortunately, that means that Mahar will come up a little bit short if you're pitting him up against Masters of the Universe figures. They're on a 5.5-inch scale, which is actually what the regular Tarzan figures in this line are, but unfortunately Mahar here only exists on this smaller 4-inch scale. But he fits in well with 3 3/4-inch figures. I think it'd be great if you could pose him with fantasy figures. I think he would make a great like demon or monster for a fantasy line. Unfortunately, I don't own any figures like that, but I think if you have, like, for instance, the fantasy figures from Boss Fight Studios, I think he would look really cool fighting those. Since the recent Zorro comics from American mythology pit Zorro up against demons and monsters and such, here is the Boss Fight Studios Zorro versus the creature, and it looks quite nice. I've done a separate review of the Zorro figure, and it is amazing. So originally I had no plan to get this set because it's so far removed from the novels, but I did have a request to do this review, and I'm glad I got these figures. They look really cool, and it is kind of cool to have a Mahar that looks like the TV show, and I think they're just cool looking display pieces. If you're just looking to have something to display on your shelf, I think this is a good set. If you're looking for something for your kids to play with, I think this is a good set too. Trendmasters just put out some pretty good, cool toys for this toy line. All right, that's all my thoughts. Like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, see ya.